Because while others were distracted by appearances, you kept searching for meaning. That is what makes your journey different. There were moments when people laughed at your instincts. They called you overly sensitive. They told you that you were imagining things. They insisted that life was exactly what it looked like on the surface. But every time you listened to your heart instead of the noise around you, another piece of the puzzle quietly fell into place. You noticed the small details that everyone else ignored. You saw kindness hidden behind someone's silence. You recognized pain behind another person's smile. You understood that strength isn't always loud and that courage doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes the bravest soul in the room is the one who continues moving forward while carrying invisible battles. That realization changed everything. Most people spend their lives reacting to what they see. You learn to respond to what you feel. That difference may seem small, but it has shaped every chapter of your story. Think about the opportunities that appeared in your life. Some arrived wearing beautiful disguises. Others came wrapped inside disappointment. The world celebrated the first kind and rejected the second. You did something different. Instead of judging every situation by its first impression, you stayed long enough to discover its purpose. That difficult season taught you resilience. That unexpected goodbye created room for a better hello. That closed door forced you to discover another path you would never have considered otherwise. Looking back now, the pieces fit together in ways they never could have while you were living through them. At the time, nothing made sense. Now, everything carries meaning. The delays that once frustrated you protected you from rushing into situations that weren't meant to last. The loneliness you feared introduced you to parts of yourself that had been waiting to be discovered. The mistakes you wished you could erase became the lessons that shaped your wisdom. Every experience left behind a gift. Some gifts looked like victories. Others looked like scars, but both transformed you into someone stronger than you were before. That is why your perspective is so valuable. You don't measure success by applause. You measure it by growth. You don't define wealth only by money. You understand that peace, trust, loyalty, and genuine love are treasures that cannot be purchased. While many people chase temporary excitement, you have quietly searched for lasting fulfillment. That search has not been easy. There were nights when you questioned yourself, days when you wondered if all your effort mattered, moments when it felt as though everyone else was moving ahead while you remained standing still. But appearances can be misleading. Someone who seems to be racing ahead today may be running toward the wrong destination. Someone who appears to be falling behind may actually be walking toward exactly where they belong. Comparison has a way of stealing gratitude. You have slowly learned to stop measuring your timeline against someone else's. Your journey has its own rhythm. Your growth has its own pace. Your story has its own purpose. No one else can live it for you. No one else can understand every chapter because no one else has carried your experiences. There is something remarkable about people who continue believing in better days even after facing repeated disappointment. That kind of hope isn't naive. It is powerful. Hope allows the heart to keep beating with expectation instead of surrendering to despair. Hope reminds you that one difficult chapter is not the entire book. Hope whispers that the ending has not yet been written, Perhaps that is why you never completely gave up. Even during your hardest moments, there was still a quiet voice inside reminding you to take one more step. Sometimes that step felt incredibly small. Sometimes all you could do was get through another day. Yet every small step carried you farther than you realized. Progress is often invisible while it is happening. Only later do you recognize how far you've traveled. Imagine climbing a mountain covered in fog. From where you stand, it feels as though nothing is changing. The view remains hidden. The climb feels endless. Then suddenly the clouds begin to separate. You turn around and realize the valley below has become incredibly distant. That is what personal growth feels like. You rarely notice it in the moment. You recognize it when you look back. Today you are wiser than yesterday, not because life has become easier. Because you have become stronger, your patience has grown, your discernment has sharpened, your compassion has deepened, your resilience has expanded. These are victories that no one can take away. People may overlook them, they may never applaud them. But they matter more than temporary recognition. You have also learned something important about relationships. Not everyone is meant to stay forever. Some people arrive to encourage you, others arrive to challenge you. Some teach you what love feels like, others teach you what love should never become. Each encounter carries a lesson. Holding on to people who no longer belong in your future only prevents new blessings from entering your life. Releasing someone doesn't always mean you stopped caring. Sometimes it simply means you care enough about your own peace to let go. That kind of maturity is difficult. It requires courage. It requires honesty. Most importantly, it requires faith that something better can exist beyond what you are leaving behind. And often, it does. The future has a remarkable way of rewarding those who remain faithful to their values even when shortcuts seem easier. Integrity may not produce immediate rewards, but over time, it builds a life that rests on a foundation no storm can easily destroy. You have been building that foundation one decision at a time, one sacrifice at a time, one act of kindness at a time. The results may not always be visible, yet they are real. Just as roots grow beneath the ground long before branches stretch toward the sky, your unseen efforts are preparing visible breakthroughs. Do not underestimate quiet seasons. Silence often precedes significant change. The seed does not become a tree overnight. It spends time developing beneath the surface where no one applauds its progress. Then one day, everyone notices what has been growing all along. Your season is unfolding in much the same way. Continue trusting the process. Continue becoming the person you were created to be. Continue choosing character over convenience. Continue believing that what is meant for you will arrive at the right time. The world needs more people who can see beyond appearances, people who recognize potential before success becomes obvious, people who choose compassion before judgment, people who believe in possibilities before proof appears. You have been practicing that way of living for longer than you realize. Do not abandon it now. Your ability to notice what others overlook is not a weakness. It is one of your greatest strengths. Protect it, develop it, allow it to guide your decisions with wisdom instead of fear. The chapters ahead are waiting to reveal opportunities that only someone with your perspective can recognize. And when those moments arrive, you will understand why every lesson, every delay, every challenge, and every quiet victory was preparing you for what comes next.